There is nothing our government here in the good old USA loves more than a good cram down. The way this works is they think of something that's, you guessed it, for the greater good, and then do everything they can to make sure that all Americans comply, because after all, only they know what is good for us. We'll start in 1975 with the metric system. After all, almost everyone else in the world has already jumped off the metric cliff. Why not us?
You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese?
Oh man, they got the metric system. They wouldn't know what the fuck a quarter pounder is.
Daddy government decides that instead of saying something is, say, 1 foot long, we should instead be saying that it is 30.48 centimeters, even better, 0.305 meters. Much easier, right? Americans are annoyed. Wholesale conversion to the metric system is going to be extremely expensive, time-consuming, and unnecessary. Not to worry, says Uncle Sam, we've got this covered. With your money, of course. But this is 1975, not 2023, and the government makes a critical cram-down error that it will unfortunately rectify in future years. There's this wild idea that people should have a choice as to whether to spend hundreds of millions, and let's just be honest, billions of dollars doing something that the people paying the bill don't want to do. The people speak and the metric system goes down in flames. To this day, leftists are furious about this. Well, if at once you don't succeed, the 1970s, it would seem, were fertile ground for Cramdowns, as another one begins here too. The 55 mile per hour national speed limit. Driving fast is dangerous, we are told by our overlords. By forcing you to drive slower, we are actually saving all of your lives. You should thank us. In addition, then, as now, gasoline usage is definitely going to be the end of civilization as we know it. Driving slowly will save tons of gasoline and protect our fragile earth. But that's not really the reason we're doing it. No. It's to make sure that you don't kill yourselves on the highway. This is a no-brainer, right? If you drive more slowly, there will be fewer deaths on the highway. Well, it was a no-brainer, but not in the way we were told. As it turns out, by driving more slowly, we were spending more and more time on the highway, and more time on the highway means more deaths on the highway. You have to use DuckDuckGo to actually find out the truth here, because Google will desperately throw things at you trying to hide what actually happened. They are, unfortunately, very good at that. Next up on the Cramdown hit parade, soccer. Cover your ears, soccer fans. During the reign of the North American Soccer League, born 1968, died 1984, the entire world tried to convince us that what they called American football was a barbaric sport that needed to be relegated to the dustbin of history if at all possible, compulsory anti-football government action. Americans weren't having it. Their collective reaction was similar to the one I had recently when asked by a friend if I was following the World Cup. Sorry, I said, I only watch men's sports. This was quickly followed by another gem by my son, who claimed that having to play soccer instead of football at recess was, and I quote, a violation of his human rights. At some point, I'll have to acquaint him with the work of John Locke. Joking aside, my point is not that there's anything wrong with soccer, but there is something wrong with collectivist attacks on a sport that many of us have come to know and love. My brother, a Major League Baseball scout, said, with admiration actually, that football is a brutal sport. And he's not wrong. On the other hand, in many ways, America is a brutal country. And some of us are not ashamed to say that. And we would thank you, Daddy Government, to keep your hands off our sports. Also, out of our wallets, if at all possible. Cramdown number 4, motorcycle helmet laws. Again, it seems obvious that forcing people to wear helmets would be a brain saver, right? Well, maybe. But I do notice that any objective examination of relevant factors is strategically missing from public discourse. More motorcycle deaths are reported in states without helmet laws, but also more motorcyclists on the road, so more road miles. Those who choose not to wear helmets tend to have a higher risk profile than those who wear them, thereby making them inherently more unsafe operators. Oh, and we are told unequivocally that helmets do not impede the hearing or peripheral vision of the rider. If you've ever ridden a motorcycle, you know how patently ridiculous this statement is. But who are you going to believe, us or your own eyes and ears? Anyway, I will concede to them a likely safety edge on this one. But that edge is obliterated by the sheer scope and awesomeness of the mere name of the main group that has been knocking down mandatory helmet laws like bowling pins. A brotherhood against totalitarian enactments. Holy shit! I haven't ridden a motorcycle in 40 years, but where do I sign up? And no discussion of Cramdowns would be complete without mentioning the one we've just been subjected to. Now, I prefer not to destroy the lighthearted vibe of this segment completely, so I'll just say this. I used to be, if anything, pro-vac. But during the course of this fiasco, I came across charts like this. And this. I always thought of Jonas Salk as a great hero. Now I'm not so sure. Thanks a lot, Anthony Fauci.